This reaction is brought to you by my wonderful $5 or more patrons at patreon.com/Alex Haitz. Would like to thank Manchester Pictures, Identitech, Jadubi, TFG, Derek, William Myatt, Steve Aldersley, Kurt David, Joe Brown, Alex M, SBP, at HotGirlVideo69 on Twitter. I checked it, it's okay. Mason Frost, Matthew McLaughlin, Andres Glacial, and Biffsy. All for sponsoring this video, supporting me, my family, the channel, encouraging all this nonsense, and what have you. Thank you guys. Hope you enjoy. Okay, everybody. Welcome to this video that you didn't think was coming, but here it is. So, I said I was doing the moon and the moon and Antarctica next, but that was a filthy, rotten lie on my part. You're welcome. I know that this compilation has been talked about quite a bit in the Modest Mouse world. There's a lot of really strong EPs from this era as well that happened in this. And I'm not going to really touch those right now. Maybe I'll do like a small pickup job later with Modest Mouse like I have with other artists. But for now, I'm just tossing in Building Nothing Out of Something, which is a compilation album that came out in early 2000, right before the moon and Antarctica. So it says it comprises non-album tracks from various points in the band's career, released from 1996 to 1998. A-sides, B-sides, some tracks from the Interstate 8 EP, Baby Blue Sedan from the vinyl version of Lonesome Crowded West. And I'm also tacking on a couple extra songs at the end of this video by request, Edit the Sad Parts, and a Manic Depressive named Laughing Boy. So, yeah, probably, I don't know, just over an hour's worth of music here. Not a whole lot more to say except for the fact that in case you didn't watch the video, I have a new Patreon tier now. $10 a month will get you access to unedited reactions. That $10 a month goes to pay for the Vimeo hosting to host those. Otherwise, YouTube would just be like, blocked. No. So I have both of my Modest Mouse reactions so far up on there, Long Drive and Lonesome Crowded West. Those are unedited. You can go watch those if you're a $10 patron. And then this one will also be unedited. The first one I'm recording with this tier live. So I'll say all kinds of secret, illicit, naughty ASMR things while we're listening to the music, just for those patrons. No, I'm kidding. Or am I? Anyway, okay, so let's hop right on into this. So we have 12 tracks here on the main Building Nothing Out of Something album, 55 minutes. So we'll start with Never Ending Math Equation. This is just an A-side, a 98 single. So let's hop right on in.
Works on a math equation that never even ever really even
Guitar lines are always really solid in these tracks.
Now the world's an hour 6 years old, and oh my god, I feel so damn old, but I don't really feel it. It spirals out creation, we're on the tip of this song, and it is saying, well, we ain't sure where you stand.
Pretty good. I kind of got a little bit of that Jesus Christ was an only child kind of at that end there where it's like, if I knew now what I knew then, and blah, blah, blah. Good. It does feel like, you know, much like other compilations I've heard. Sorry, I have like this one mustache hair that's in my mouth. Other compilation albums I've heard where it's like, especially like the Joy Division one, Substance, they feel like similar cuts from the same cloth of other ideas, you know? And I hear that one, and I hear Jesus Christ Was Only Child. There's a little bit of Cowboy Dan in there as well. And it's not like a bad track or anything. It's just like it doesn't quite stand on its own, and especially if it was put on Lonesome Crowded West, then it would just feel like a little too samey with other tracks. So it's like, I get it. But fine track, good track. Interstate 8, taken from the Interstate 8 EP.
I'm going nowhere, but I'm guaranteed to be late. You know that love has no sides. You're an angel. For days, I drove around for months and years and never went no place. How have you? How have you?
Pretty good. Is that the like original Interstate 8, like the demo that they recorded in his garage? Because if so, that sounds pretty good. But I can definitely see that being a little bit closer to the long drive section of things. Really interesting, kind of like is that kind of like whammied chords throughout it, just kind of slowly, kind of pitched up and down. Good. I like that actually. So 2 for 2 so far. Okay, a 1996 single. We have Broke.
Broke account, so I broke a sweat. I bought some things that I sort of regret. Times I'm so full of shit that it should be a crime. And round and round and round and round, and should have been anyway. Oh, 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 oh,
Three for 3. Yeah, these are more of like the Modest Mouse vibes that I enjoy. Like that melancholy, I've said this in the last 2 reactions. You got that melancholy kind of bittersweet feel. But there's throwing in some like rock motifs in here, some interesting riffs, some climaxes. And I'm digging it. Medication. This is a B-side of a later single on here, A Life of Arctic Sounds from 1996. So let's see what this is.
This is the part of me that go away, and you can wish that I had stayed or just stay gone. I don't know. So you go to the light.
Not huge on that one. The only kind of somewhat dud so far. It feels like a B-side. Not awful. It's just, it didn't really go anywhere. It's very, very subtle, but whatever. Working on Leavin the Livin. This is a B-side to Never Ending Math Equation. This is the lyrics to the Eraserhead song.
Leaving the live. Loved it more than everything, loved it more than anything, loved everything more. It's fun.
And there it is. Really torn on that one because it's like on one hand, I feel like it was too long and aimless. But on the other hand, I was like, I didn't mind that really at all. I was kind of vibing with it, but it was like just barely kind of like, I don't know what the word would be. With some of the production and the composition, it was just not quite easy for me to like quite groove to, I guess. But it was fine. It was fine. Liked it more than Medication for certain. Okay, All Night Diner, taken off the Interstate 8 EP.
All-night diner, the signs of triple S, but they were talking about root beer. I'm just sitting down thinking, oh, just have I told you? Oh, you could really get it on, or you could really get it on. About the pig, so I can avoid premature ejaculation. I got up remembering to thank him. Really get it on. Get it on, or you could really get it on. Have I told you, have I told you?
It's another 14 seconds. And it's done. Okay. Good. I've noticed that these Interstate 8 tracks, this happens a lot with bands. It seems like their first EP to kind of show, you know, their chops, that they have skill. The songs are usually like, they're not like their best, but they're very bold. What's the word? Not ambitious, but just like they're trying to be like comprehensive, right? Like look, like trying to put all your eggs in one basket, right? Which is like what pilot episodes do for TV shows when you shoot a pilot. And I feel like Interstate 8 and All Night Diner, like they're very unique tracks. Whereas Medication just kind of felt like a bleh, you know. Working on Leavin, the Livin, another B-side was kind of like there and gone. But All Night Diner was kind of, it was there and it was, you know, present. I like that one, actually. I kind of like the little silly vibe to it. I'm going to go refill my drink. Are you ready for some video magic? Because here it comes. Whoa. Did you guys notice it? I hope not. I would wear this because it seems really modest mousy, but it is hot outside, so I will not do that. All right, Baby Blue Sedan, bonus track on the LP version of Lonesome Crowded West. Should be good. Let's see what we got.
All the eunuchs, they were standing in rows singing, please stud us out just as it's fast, and it's hard to be a human being, and it's harder doing the best that I can. All the eunuchs, they were standing in, and I miss you when you're
Quite good. Again, it feels like it's from the era it claims to be from. I like the acoustic guitar riff on that one. It was very nice. That wouldn't have been out of place on Lonesome Crowded West. Then again, it was already a really long album. I would have dropped maybe Dog Paddle for that one. But who am I to say how albums should be? Has anyone else ever done that? Like taken an album and like removed tracks from the track listing and put in like B-sides from that era or unreleased or, like extra tracks, bonus tracks from that era. And like basically like listen to that as the album. I've always kind of felt that way with certain things, but I never want to like tarnish. Like a track listing feels like very purposeful, and I never really want to like infringe on that. But I'm just curious if anyone else ever does that. A Life of Arctic Sounds. So this is just a 1996 single. Should sound very much like Long Drive.
As long as you're gone. Long drive inside a car. 200 miles is a long drive inside. 100 miles is a real long drive in a car. 600 miles is a long miles. It's a long drive inside a car. 1100 miles is two. I might be goddamn. I like an odd sound. Hey, alright, I might be goddamn.
Good. Nothing amazing, but feel like this feels right. Like 2000, right before Moon and Antarctica, like kind of compiling, because Long Drive and Lonesome Crowded West are very similar in terms, not, I wouldn't say mood, but something definitely changes on Moon and Antarctica from what I remember a long time ago. Which, if you didn't know, I am reacting to that, even though I've heard it before, but I don't remember hardly any of the tracks. And then definitely good news is their kind of mainstream breakout. So first two albums very close together, not only in theme and tone, but time as well. I mean, they're a year apart, 2 years apart. So this compilation makes a lot of sense, and it works fairly well in that way tonally. It's not like all over the place. Sleepwalking. So this is apparently the melody from Sleepwalk by Santo and Johnny, which was the song I danced with my mom to at my wedding. I asked her, like, what song would you want to dance to at my wedding? And she picked that one, and I'm like, good choice. So let's see what we got. I'm digging this.
So excited though. Sleepwalking, 'cause I'm sleep. The trash boys listen to their headphones blasting white noise in the convenience walking. A mutual friend's parents left town for.
Man, Interstate 8 was a stellar EP. Like I've heard these first three tracks off the EP now, Interstate 8, All Night Diner, and Sleepwalking. Tundra/Desert is the next one, which was my favorite track off of Long Drive. And then Edit the Sad Parts, which is going to be one of the extra songs I listened to at the end here. So that was pretty solid out of the gate kind of EP there. I mean, they did one in 94, but like, this is why I don't understand, because Long Drive was April 96, and then Interstate 8 was August of 96, but wasn't like Interstate 8, like these were, it was like the original demo, Live in Sunburst, Montana. Was it? I don't know. What's going on here? Live in Sunburst, Montana is Beachside Property, Buttons to Push the Buttons, Novocaine Stain, Broke, Whenever You Breathe Out, I Breathe In, which is also on this, isn't it? I'm so confused. Help me, guys. What's going on? Yeah, that Whenever You Breathe Out, I Breathe In is on this compilation that I'm listening to now. So when did these Interstate 8 broke, All Night Diner, and Sleepwalking were later included. So I don't know when these were recorded then. Interstate 8, All Night Diner, Sleepwalking, and Edit the Sad Parts. Well, I guess Edit the Sad Parts was one of the original tracks, right? The 7-minute version, which we're going to listen to today. But I don't know when these first 3 tracks came out. Interstate 8, All Night Diner, and Sleepwalking. If you guys could help me on that, I'd be greatly appreciative, because I have no idea what's happening now. But, I mean, solid EP. Solid. Yeah, that I love that track. That was fantastic. I love any kind of 50s or 60s, like doo-wop, that kind of like saccharine rock and roll. And I mean, if you guys have heard my album Oakville, you know I'm very much a fan of retro music and culture. So, Gray Ice Water. This is a B-side to Other People's Lives, which is the last track on here. Let's see what we have. More of those whammied chords. Not bad. I've noticed that like with some of the riffs in these tracks, they're fairly simple, but like it's the playing that makes them unique. Like they're either like they'll whammy some chords, or like in this one, like the notes were almost like kind of staccato and broken up and almost like muffled in a way. And that kind of added some texture to it as well, which I like. I like the physicality of the music in Modest Mouse's stuff here. Whenever you breathe out, I breathe in, positive, negative. So this is a B-side to Broke. So far, I haven't loved all the B-sides. Actually, the B-sides might be my 2 least favorites so far. Aside from Gray Ice Water, that was okay. So let's see what this one is like. Sounds like a song from 2020.
Bed for 8 days straight. I haven't hung out with anyone.
Wow. Amazing. Did you guys hear that? Not one of my favorites, but it was okay. I'd put that like on par with like one of the weakest tracks from something like Lonesome Crowded West. Wasn't as good as Broke, the A side of that single, but it was all right. Maybe it's just a bit long, I think. Okay, last one from this compilation, Other People's Lives. This is just a straight up single from '98. That's pretty good, actually. Um, I felt like it was kind of like winding to a close, like not even halfway through. It was like 3 minutes or something like that. You could kind of feel that like normal, like pop song or rock song kind of descent into a conclusion. But then it just kind of, cycled into this sort of outro that took its time. And I was vibing with it. I liked that. That was pretty nice. So, as a compilation, before we get to the other extra tracks, this is pretty solid. Pretty solid. I mean, Medication, I wasn't super into. Working on Leavin the Livin, I'm torn on. I probably dislike it more than I like it, but it's probably half and half. Um, Whenever you breathe out, I breathe in is okay. But everything else I dig. Sleepwalking was probably my favorite. Other highlights would be Interstate 8, All Night Diner. I did like Baby Blue Sedan. I thought Broke was good as well. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, I'm going to swap out the SD card in my camera real quick. I'm just going to... Usually I do this on like long... Because I have like usually an hour and a half, hour 40 of recording on my SD cards, which I have two of. And usually I swap it out while I'm in the middle of a song, and you guys don't even notice it happens unless you see the camera move suddenly. But since I'm doing unedited reactions, I'm just going to go ahead and proclaim it right now. So here's a quick edit, and we're back. Okay, so last two tracks here. Edit the sad parts. So this, I guess, is technically like... I'm just going to put up the Lonesome Crowded West. I don't even know what picture to put up here. I mean, I don't know what era does this come from? Lonesome Crowded West, I guess. I'll just put that up. Who cares? I'll put that up for both of these, just for simplicity's sake. So they don't really have a home, except here in my heart. Anyway, so two tracks extra here. Edit the sad parts. 7-minute version. Pretty good. Pretty good. There's something that happens with music when because usually the lead guitar is like melodic by design, right? Save for maybe people like Johnny Marr, who kind of incorporated some chord work into his melodic, structures. But usually lead guitar is very kind of one note or I'm going to look this up real quick because on the Marquee Moon page, they talked a bit about this with the Marquee Moon track. What is this called? Double stopped guitar. In music, a double stop is the technique of playing two notes simultaneously on a stringed instrument. Marquee Moon kind of really pioneered that double stopped guitar riff, and that showed up in a lot of post-punk revival. Save for double stop stuff, usually lead guitar is single notes. And usually the bass is just kind of in the background doing single notes, or maybe there's a piano with chords, or a good normal rhythm guitar with chords. But I love when there is a melodic bass with a very chordal foundation, and a melodic guitar line, usually in the lead. The Marquee Moon album did that really well. A lot of post-punk revival does that really well. And Modest Mouse does it really well too. And they're not even remotely post-punk in any way. It's very, I wouldn't say uplifting, but it's definitely brighter in tone. Like a track like that is brighter in tone than anything post-punk. And you get that some with like indie rock and some indie pop too. Like I'm a big fan of the album Ocean by Dive, which is kind of an indie rock dream pop album. And that album has a ton of melodic bass with very melodic guitar over it. And I feel like a melodic bass and a melodic guitar, when they're composed well, complement each other in such a profound way. And Modest Mouse does that. Like, I think a Beachside Property, I think that's the right track, right? Is that the one with the screaming? I can't remember. Whichever one has the rah, with like the bass that goes like boom, doom, 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 doom. Really great stuff there for Modest Mouse in that regard. And this track had it in spades. Really good. Sorry for that aside. The last track, a Manic Depressive named Laughing Boy. I think, is this on the vinyl of Long Drive? Let me look real quick. Yeah, it looks like it. I think that's kind of where it showed up at first, and then so this is technically a vinyl rip. I don't know if there's any kind of non-vinyl version of this, so this might have the crickles and the crackles in it. But last track, everybody, a Manic Depressive named Laughing Boy. Not bad. Not one of my favorites from the Long Drive era, but definitely better than a handful of tracks on Long Drive, I think. I like to edit the sad parts a little bit more, but there it is, everybody. There it is. So all in all, quite a lot of good throwaway tracks from the Modest Mouse era in the first, 5 years or so. Lots of good stuff here. Definitely things I'll be coming back to. But I am eager to move forward into the Moon and Antarctica coming next, to kind of see their transition into the mainstream coming forward here. But I will say we're going to start doing more poll albums, actually. I've kind of interspersed them a little bit more frequently into the track listing, or the album reaction schedule, I should say. So next album will be a poll album. And this will be one that I pick the albums for instead of my Discord. So I will pick 4 albums. I'll post an announcement video when that's up. And any patron on my Patreon, $1 or more. So if you want in on the poll, just head on over to patreon.com/AlexHeitz and jump in at $1 a month. You can vote in the polls. I don't know what I'm going to pick. I think I might go, this will probably be controversial, but I'll probably go with something that's like 4 albums that have never been picked before on my list of albums to listen to. It might not be popular. In fact, it probably won't be, but it's what I'm going to do. Last time I did like 4 from very different genres, but I think this time I'm just going to be like the little, sad albums that have never been picked. Anyway, that was building nothing out of something. Solid album. Very solid compilation. Eager to get to Moon and Antarctica to see what comes next. So, things to plug. Patreon.com/AlexHeitz. Head on over there if you want to support the channel. $1 a month is all you need to vote in the polls, which will be coming up next. And then also the $10 tier if you're interested in supporting the channel at the highest level, which would be greatly appreciated. I have a couple people, actually 3 people, supporting at the $10 level, which I'm very thankful for, guys. Get access to the unedited reactions. You can watch this video unedited. And then the Discord, link in the description. Music recommendations, discussions, got all kinds of channels going on there. I think we have close to 130 members at this point. It's still growing, which I'm very thankful for and blessed. It's kind of running without me almost these days. Got a few moderators going there, so it almost has a life of its own. A lot of people with very different music tastes coming together to talk about music. So a fun place to hang out if you would like to hang out. And that is all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for the poll video, poll album, and then we'll keep trucking forward with Modest Mouse. So until next time, guys, I will see you later. Godspeed.